Today we are installing the MB Quart Stage 6 audio system for the Mercedes-Benz W907 Sprinter. This set is designed for the 2019 to 2025 W907 Sprinters. Here's a list of tools you'll need for this installation. To start, we need to disassemble the door panel by removing these screws. Remove the screw cover on the top of the door, then using a T25 remove the screw. Remove the trim around the door lock. Remove the screw cover in the handle cup, then using a T30 remove the screw. Remove the screw cover in the door handle pocket, then using a T20 remove the screw. In the lower pocket, remove two T30 screws. On the bottom of the door, remove 3 screws. Starting at the top, release the door panel on the top and both sides. The bottom does not need to be released as it has a channel. Do not try to release the bottom of the door panel. Leaning the door panel toward the inside of the vehicle, disconnect the wiring connectors from the controls. Unclip the yellow retainer from the door panel. Then lift up the white clip to remove the door latch cable. Tip door panel toward the floor and lift up to release from the door. Place door panel face down on a flat surface. Remove 4 T20 screws from the OEM speaker. Install the MB Quart woofer back onto the door panel using the stock hardware. Reinstall the door panel back into the vehicle. Then repeat the process on the other door to install the other MB Quart woofer. If you have a sensor above the center channel, carefully pull the plastic cover toward the back of the vehicle to uncover the sensor. Carefully pull the sensor down and toward the back of the vehicle and set off to the right. Do not unplug the connectors. Using a panel tool, carefully unclip the center dash speaker grille. Carefully lift the factory center speaker out of the dash. Then disconnect the 2 factory wire connectors. Connect the 2 factory wire connectors to the MB Quart center channel speaker. Then clip into the top of the dash. Clip the factory grille cover back into the top of the dash. Reassemble the sensor and its cover. Using a panel tool, carefully lift up and remove the factory tweeter panel. Using a pick tool, carefully pry the tweeter out of the dash. Disconnect the wiring from the factory tweeter. Repeat this procedure on other side, then continue on with disassembly of floor area. Remove 2 T25 Torx screws from side trim just above step into vehicle. Remove the plastic trim panel and set aside. Remove the driver's side rubber floor cover by gently lifting up and out to locate the battery compartment. On the passenger side, remove 2 T25 Torx screws from side trim just above step into vehicle. Remove plastic trim panel and set aside. Remove rubber floor cover up under the dash by turning the screw heads a quarter turn and gently lifting up and out. Lift the passenger side floor out of the vehicle. Now the floor is uncovered. Unbolt the seat from the metal pedestal using an E10 socket. You can use a 6-sided 3/8" socket, but be careful not to round out the bolt. The seat harness can be difficult to remove. We suggest carefully setting the seat back into the cargo floor area so you don't have to disconnect the harness. Cut a slit into the foam pedestal cover and remove it from around the harness and throw away. It will not be reused. Remove 2 10mm nuts from the metal wire cover. Lift and remove the metal wire cover from the vehicle. Loosen the 4 T30 bolts and slide the battery cover toward the seat. Lift it off the floor and remove from the vehicle. Now you have access to the 12-volt battery. Carefully unclip the top part of the wire cover in between the seat. There are 7 clip locations. Now you can lift the top of the cover and run your harness inside of it during the installation. Apply foam tape over the existing wiring. Remove the fuse from the fuse holder. Cut the little black connector key from the connector. Reference the manual for a better image. Set the main harness into the seat pedestal. The power connector, speaker connector, and RCAs should all be on the door side of the pedestal. Run the harness through the side hole under the pedestal into the white wire channel and leave there for the time being. Mount the subwoofer brackets onto the enclosure using the provided T30 screws through the smaller slots on the brackets. Leave the brackets a little loose until you have them lined up with the seat mounting holes in the vehicle. Remove the RCA covers on the 2 lower RCA connectors. Set the enclosure on the pedestal so you can connect the harness to the amplifier and enclosure. Make sure the black RCA goes into the number 1 jack and the red RCA goes into the number 2 jack. Connect the sub-enclosure to the harness. Set the enclosure into the pedestal, placing the rear of the enclosure in first. Make sure the wire harness stays up against the inside wall of the pedestal. The harness should not be under the enclosure. Align the brackets on the sub with the seat mounting holes. Tighten the brackets to the sub enclosure. Finish running the harness through the white wire tray and out toward the battery box. Make sure your power and ground wires reach the battery terminals. If they don't, pull some of the slack out of the pedestal and through the wire tray. Now you can clip the wire tray back together. Remove panel under driver's side dash on the center console. Run your speaker connectors up into the center console where the main power wire goes. Leave the long right side tweeter wire out of the center console. It will be run over to the passenger side in another step. Pull the harness through the center console area. Leave the right tweeter wire out so you can run it under the console toward the passenger side. Run the harness under the foam firewall cover toward the kick panel. Run the wire up behind the kick panel plastic. Then pull the wire up and over the top of the kick panel. Locate the blue speaker connector in the kick panel. Pull the blue connector out of the kick panel next to the black connectors you just ran. Unplug the blue connectors and plug them into the black connectors. Then tuck them all into the kick panel. Stick a scrap piece of wire down into the tweeter hole and pull it out of the kick panel. Tape the tweeter wire with the blue connector to the scrap wire and pull it up through the tweeter hole out of the dash. Connect the blue connector to the tweeter pod wire and stuff them into the hole in the dash. Press the tweeter pod down into the clip locations, holding it into the dash. Back down at the bottom of the center console, you will run the right side tweeter wire under the center console over toward the passenger footwell. Run the wire up and around the footwell area and use the scrap wire to pull it up out of the dash tweeter hole. Then connect the wire and install the passenger side tweeter pod. Connect the power and ground wires to the battery and put the fuse back into the fuse holder. Adjust the amp settings. Test the sound system. Once everything is working and sounding awesome, you can put the interior back together and enjoy. That concludes the installation of the MBQSV-STG6A-1 for the 2019 to 2025 Mercedes-Benz W907 Sprinter. Thank you for watching. To find more great audio products, check out our website at mbquart.com.